What's going on, people? It's Monday, late afternoon, going into the evening, the 14th of September, and I'm really happy to say that I can do a review right away of the brand new Moonmen. I believe this is their fourth. It just came in the mail. However, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Brett. However, my first plays, and I've already played it a couple times already, these guys are really into it. This is the best yet. This is really, it's like the Moonmen on this has congealed. The idea, to me, has finally really come together. Okay, now, I mean, all along, I've got the others, and I can reference them. I haven't, but I feel strong enough. I want to just give you this bam straight away, because it's like, yeah, this hits me real strong right away. Compelling, and I wanted to keep listening to it. That's the thing, okay? With all the others so far, I get into them, but not one of them has hit me like this, where it's like, yeah, this is what I like this. This is what I want to hear. I want to hear this. Tales of the Space Pirates. Now, these folks are really into this sense of humor, and I catch a little bit of it, with their names, Dom Fook, Dom Fook, and Billzilla, and Cthulhu Moons, and Eschaton Crater. You guys. Really great graphics, and just everything about this is like stepped up. Game has stepped up. But I'll tell you a couple of things that really struck me right away in the first listen. Drumming is stronger all the way through, and that's important to me. And it makes a big difference. Billzilla's drumming is stronger, okay? Things are groovy. The incorporation of the blues and Brett's flavor. We know it's Dave Newhouse, Bret Hart, and I think, is it Jerry King? I forget. But Brett's flavor and the way that it really comes together, it really congeals. It's like, and it is a psychedelic, spacey picture musically. It is. Moonmen is right. It doesn't sound like Mana Mirage. It doesn't sound like Brett's other stuff. It is Moonmen. This is highly recommended, and boy, it just hit me right away how much this like, yeah, this is really good. The guys have been pretty prolific. They've just been going bam, 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 it's seemingly, in the last few years. Just every time you turn around, Moonmen is staying very active. And so nobody's slipping. This is good. Happy to share that right away, and it's the sort of thing where when I'm done with the video, I need to play it again. Let me show some other records while I'm here, okay? This is an old pop / sort of psychedelic album that there's connections. The musicians, it's an English band, the 5 Day Week Straw People. This is an unofficial reissue of it. It's one of those records that's pretty collectible, but for good reason. This is really quite good, and it's not just one style. That's why psychedelic and that cover really fit. But it rocks a lot. A lot of the time this album rocks. Really good. Got into a mood, and I put them, it's in the other room. I was playing some birthday party Yeah, I like Birthday Party, but Lush, 4AD in general, just the aesthetic of the label, the way the first incarnation just really caught my fancy. By the chance, can you hear all the partying? That's outside. Now, I'll explain though that my neighbor, who's my cousin, he got his motorcycle delivered today, this huge Harley Davidson three-wheeler thing. And so he's got his buddies over and they're outside. He just finally took it for the first drive himself. They're partying. Can you hear it? I mean, it's like they're right behind me. But Lush, Scar, this is how I first heard them. Thank you. Someone sent this vinyl to me. I bought it right away on CD single, but never seen it on vinyl. And from the very beginning, the band had this something. There's that raggedness where some of these songs sounds like the guitars are slightly out of tune. But I think the best way to put that in perspective is just how honest it is and was in the execution. Just that something's happening here, and this is just, yeah, let's go with this. Dollys Car, a project between Mick Karn, rest in peace, and Peter Murphy from Bauhaus. This was their second, it's not an album, it's a 5-song, 12-inch EP, InGladAloneness. Now, when I first got this a while back and put it on, I just wasn't getting into it. And so COVID, in some ways, has helped me to just say, okay, just let every record, just let it be. And then let it happen, and then you'll know. It's really been instructive, and a lot of things, even though I can't say I necessarily like them more, I'm able to appreciate them more. And this one I can say I actually like now. When I first heard it, I just thought, I don't know what these guys are doing. It's got such a strong Persian, Middle Eastern mix. Like on side 2, it even sounds religious. Yeah, even the title, Subnallah. But on here, the track Artemis Rise really stood out to me. Is that a Maxfield Parrish? It certainly looks like one of his paintings. That one stood out to me, and so I found myself playing that one again and again and again a few times. And sure enough, it's like, yeah, and Steve Jansen's on here, Thea Travis, the fellas, they know who to work with. This is pretty good. Pretty good. Something that came to me through the VC from New Zealand, Gianmarco Ligori, who runs this label, Sarang Bang, sent this to me a while back. The music of Murray McNabb, and I just put some of this on last night, and this is someone if you don't know about this keyboardist, I think he's gone. He's passed away. He had a band called Dr. Tree. I can't find the record. It's pretty collectible. Kind of weather reporty, and they even cover Weather Report on here. This is some tasty shit. Jazzy and more. Double album. This is really quite a sweet package. Artwork. Yeah. Man, they feeling good. And I know that my neighbor Raymond, he's not drinking, but maybe his friends are. They sound like it. They're in that kind of mood. That's my family. This is really good. The way in is the way out. The music of Murray McNabb. Gila, German psych rock band from the 70s. This is a Russian bootleg of a radio, I think it was a radio broadcast live in 1972. So there's a legitimate release of this out. The name is escaping me right now. But this is the same quality because I have it on CD, the other. And then there's a connection to the, it's Gila and Popol. Love that color. It really plays well, actually. Here's one I got to share because I'm certainly certain that Mr. Hyman kind of knew. His name is Richard Hyman, but Dick, right away. When I got this as a kid, that was the furthest thing from my mind, and it's really only recently. Well, it has to do with some responses when I posted this online yesterday. Moog, the Electric Eclectics of Dick Hyman. What's so cool about this is that this came out in 1969, and they released a 7-minute single, the Minotaur, from this. I have a copy of it. But the thing was, it got radio play in Omaha, of all places. It actually got on the bottom of the top 45 or something like that, and I heard it a few times. Bought it in the store as a new single as a kid. But Dick Hyman had, I think he's passed, like a lot of people, a musician, studio and jazz, played with everyone from Benny Goodman to Miles Davis. But he made these early Moog albums, and they talk about this one where this is monophonic and they had to play one note at a time and then double track, But his name is Richard Hyman, but Dick Hyman. Okay, we get it. But that was like the post, in one of the groups, it wasn't all the groups, but one of the groups I posted it in, that was the majority of the responses were like just downright boyish, adolescent. And then I just posted out angrily, but I said, besides having a name that you can really have a lot of fun with, this fella has quite the background in music. Thought you all knew. People. Popol was in the mood. Einsjäger and Siebenjäger. Just wonderful. Meditative is partly, but it's kind of more like joyous, glorious, rejoious sort of celebratory type of feeling of Popol music. Spiritual, absolutely. This name came up recently online, and I hadn't listened to her in a while, so I pulled it. Early on in the outright, openly feminist actions or like movement, like Gardner, musician, started a label, Olivia, real upfront and outspoken about women's music and promoting. Just to me, it was just all about everyone growing and being healthier. So, trying to portray women more, as the humans that they are, and their contribution, and this music that is primarily focused on a woman perspective rather than a man's perspective on a woman. Beautiful. Even the singing, which is almost slightly operatic, her singing, but where everything is coming from on this Moon Circles is inescapably touching and authentic and good. Played some of this the other night. It's like one of the. The band got better, and then they got real slick, but we're still probably to this day a really good band. But Tower of Power, their first album, was reading something, and then I was watching something where I was catching. Yes, I was watching an interview with the drummer, Dave Garibaldi. This white cat, funkier and shit. This is their first album. I thought he was their original drummer. He wasn't. And I got the story about how he got the gig just when they won this Battle of the Band Bill Graham contest, and that's how they got this record deal with Bill Graham's label, San Francisco. But East Bay Grease is their first album. I hope I'm rolling okay for y'all. It's a funky ass, really good album. And the story behind how it came together, I finally knew because, the guys that are still alive from here, are still playing to this day, and they are among the best worldwide. I never had the chance to see Tower of Power, but I have a 6 Degrees story. Ron E. Beck, originally from Omaha, drummer, was Tower of Power's drummer for a time. And I just recently reconnected. Ronnie got a hold of me. I won't divulge everything, but it was like, wow, it's like there's this long familial connection and musical, because when I was a kid I would hang out with my dad and Ronnie and other people at rehearsals, jam sessions, so I would watch him and other people like Buddy Miles and Carol Rogers and other people whose names escape me, right away. But yeah, Ronnie was in Tower of Power, and we just reconnected recently. Great guy. He's got a new album out. I don't know if it's on vinyl though, but he did send me the link to his website. Split 12-inch by Melvins and Isis. I particularly like the Isis side of this album. Metal. The Isis to me has a epic sort of very emotional feel. I like the Melvins a lot. The Melvins just are all over the place. I love this. This is one that when I play the Isis side, I tend to play it a couple times. I'm going to go because I'm going to let this upload at night. Here's one where I went down to Homer's recently because I saw on their website where they got in some used records, and it was like within hours. And so I said, I saw a couple things that were interesting to me, and this was one. And thankfully it was still there. The Dave Liebman Quintet, Pendulum. Dave Liebman, saxophonist, played with Miles Davis. I first heard of him with the band Tin Wheel Drive. I almost said 10 years after. I had never seen this release on the Artist House label. And this is kind of straight ahead compared to, like, he does some pretty funky things at times. I was drawn to the artwork, and I've only had one partial playthrough, but happy. Excuse me. I'd seen where this had a record store day release recently, but I have an original, and so I pulled it ahead and played this in a long time. Tim Blake, Crystal Machine, synthesist. Was gone for a while too. It's just damn good. The cover. It sounds like the cover. Crystal Machine. It's all there. The title. The Blue Nile. Yeah. Thank God for music, huh? And variety. Someone sent this to me. I get the most amazing presents because this album has gone through the roof as far as value. I looked online and it's like, wow. But this is really soulful, adult, I guess. Is it pop music? I don't know what else to call it. It isn't rock at all. It's somewhere in that land of Peter Gabriel and you all know what I'm saying. This is really good. Peace at Last is a great title for it, and Body and Soul is my favorite song on the album. Blue Nile. Good shit. Is there anything else? Yes, this is the other record that I bought used, and it was one that got me to go down there because I've been wanting a copy of this for a while. This is one of those records when I was a kid. It was very limited income. The way I was able to buy records a lot of the time was the cutouts when they would mark records down because they don't sell. And so they would mark them down like seemingly within a year of their release or two. And then you could buy them at these different prices. The cheapest being 39 cents, then like 57 cents up to, it'd be like $1 and $2. And that to me was like out of my range. So what I'm saying is this is one of those records that I would see as a cutout, but it was always in the higher end, so I could never get it when I had money. But I always wanted it. Blonde on Blonde, Contrasts. I think this came out in 1969. Always loved this cover on the Janus label. Always really like that cover. It's doesn't seem exploitive to me. How some images of women's bodies seem that way. This one just seems appropriate and just cool. This is really good, and I can see why it's collectible. This was not. This was more than $20, and I was happy to pay it. The album sound is like, I was struggling for words, and then my friend Tim, who had turned on to this, and he said, yeah, kind of a Birds jangly thing, and I said, yeah, well, you're right, yeah, because I was thinking some of it sounded like the Pretty Things, but then they even go into kind of a folk thing on here. Apparently they put out 3 albums. This is the first. I'd like to get them all, you know, but I'm really glad to finally get this. Blonde on Blonde. They did name the band after the Bob Dylan album. Okay, so 21 minutes. Is that it? Because I think I've shown everything else here. I have. Okay. Alrighty. Really, there's no other news on my record deal. That's like, I just need to be patient, but I'm not signing a contract for all this stuff. I'm doing a deal for them to put out my next record. That's what we're doing, basically. And other options are out there. You know, my primary focus is to put my latest stuff out, which I can't predict it, but you know, I'm more than likely by the time it comes out, I'll have a whole new set of music. But really, I'm so pleased with this, and I've been going back and cleaning things up, because it's little things that you know, you just start to realize, oh, okay, that it doesn't need to be perfect, but just things that need to be neat. So I've been doing that. And other good stuff. Just every time I turn around right now, it's like people are asking me to do things, and for money, you know. I got another thing that regarding a podcast and alternative musicians in the Omaha area, where more about that, but I just was approached about that today, but that's going to happen, and it's like I'll be involved in that, and that's another. I love it. Okay, I'm rambling. Y'all take care.